Welcome back. This time I'm driving 850 kilometers to go and rescue a car that's been sitting for 26 years in a paddock. It's a 1973 Galant, a Chrysler. So it's time to hook the trailer on and get on the road. And once we get it back, let's see if we can't get this thing to run. And if it's going to run, well, why can't we make it drive? So I made it home. 10 hours driving, round trip, 5 up, 5 back. Had a bit of a sleep on while up there. Huge road trip, but made it back. It's rough, well, rougher than I thought. They always look rougher in photos. There's no denying that, but it's here and it appears mostly complete. It was a pain to get this thing onto the trailer. I won't lie. Even with the nice fellow in his tow truck, it was still a challenge. So first things first, I'm going to try and get some air into these tyres and see if we can't get some sort of a plan together to get this thing off the trailer, because these they don't roll good when they've got no air in them. So we'll have a go at that and get on with it. Well, here goes nothing. It's taking air. Would you look at that? Uh-oh. Let's not celebrate too early. Well, even if it only holds it for a couple of minutes, it's going to be enough for me to hopefully roll this thing off the trailer. That one's definitely taken air. Well, here we go. You can see the dry rod in the walls are just cracked. I mean, this car, I've been told the last time I was on the road was 1997, so that's 26 years. God knows how old these tyres are. Made in Australia though. There you go. Alright, well here she is, 1973 Chrysler Galant. It's pretty rough. Tyre hasn't held air. It's got a lot of dings. Faded paint. Someone's trod on the roof. A rust hole in the boot. Missing the rear bar. It's had some sort of a hit in the rear. Some of this isn't straight. The tail lamps are all there. Most of the trim appears to be there. But yeah, at least that tyre's holding air. Galant 1600. I guess that means it's a 1.6, maybe the 4-cylinder. Tyre's not holding air either. Had a ding here in the front. Front windscreen's had something go through it. Looks like it's gone from the outside in, which is good. Means somebody hasn't died. And there's a bunch of glass on the passenger seat and on the floor there. And it's come out of here, so it's got no passenger front window. Not sure this door's going to open. Floor shift manual. It's got 3 pedals. Most of it appears to be complete. Not sure what all this is. Oh, jeez. There's a lot of spider webs. A lot of butterflies. Glass. But it's all here. Everyone was a smoker back in the 70s. All the headlines complete. All the rest of the glass except for the front window and the passenger window and the windscreen's there. That door is not ideal. Just needs a lube up. Thomas Brothers Chrysler in Wagga. Well, I bought this from Wagga, drove up there and back, and the guy I bought it off, he said it had been a Wagga car its entire life. It was sold there new, and it was driven and owned by a family in Wagga, and then he bought it from them, and he believed it hadn't been on the road since the 90s, so 97 or so, and he'd had it for quite some time sitting in his yard. He was a tow truck driver, so he picked it up as with a bunch of other cars. I don't think this was the original intent of the purchase, but yeah, she said from front end damage, a few dings. You can see the roof's pretty badly bent, like someone's been standing on it, which is unfortunate. $60,000 miles, but there's no telling if it's how many times it's been around. Maybe once. Pretty rough in the carpet. More butterflies. Looks like some moisture down there, so I'll say that's rusty. The pedal cover's missing, but there's the fuse box. More spiders' webs. But yeah, it's all here. Oh, key. Let's see what's in the boot. No spare wheel. Pretty solid. Like I would expect it to be rougher than that down there in the rear quarters. You can see surface rust, of course, but not too bad, really. Jesus. Pretty rough. It's clearly been sitting outside unloved for quite some time, but like even the boot lid here, you can see there's a bit of surface rust, but I think it's pretty no, maybe not. That's rotting away. What's this? Midford since 1946. Nothing. Empty box. Okay. Oh, smells pretty rough in the old fuel tank. I dare say it's varnished up. Check the engine bay. See if everything's there. Well, there it is. I don't know too much about these, but it all appears to be there. I mean, what's that? Saturn. I guess that's a Chrysler branding or something. But yeah, so no power booster on the brakes. Looks like it's got fluid. Yeah, there's brake fluid in there. Not so much back there. Cable clutch. Geez, there's a lot of spider webs. But it all appears to be there. You can see the starter motor down there. A lot of spider webs. Gee whiz. What's this? Is that mouse droppings or rat droppings? I think. I'm not sure what this is. Artifacts. Wiper motor. I mean, all the wiring's there. It's all seemed to be plugged in. It looks very complete. Yeah. Carbs there. All right, well, let's see if it runs. I guess that, see what we need to do to get this thing to turn over. Just check the oil. Well, it's there. It smells like petrol, a little bit like petrol, but it's at the full mark and it appears to have some viscosity. The battery telltale thing's all red, which means it's cooked, which is very unsurprising. Is there a date on this battery? No date. I don't think this battery was bought for this car. It's 720 cold cranking out battery, and it's a monster for a little thing like this. But no, I can't find a date on it. Never mind. So let's see if the engine's free, if it's turning over, not locked up. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh shit, it's a tight spot. Oh. It's a little bit tight. But it is turning. Oh, there it goes. Oh, you can see the camshaft moving. Pretty good technology for 1973. overhead cam. Oh, we can hear compression. When I turn it here, I can hear the compression bleeding off. And it is tight. This motor might be in pretty good nick. Get this out of the way. Air cleaner doesn't look too bad. Jesus. Some cobwebs. This fuel hose looks like someone's put something on their fish tank to go from the fuel pump into the carb. Carb's not frozen. Some sort of a choke system here. What is this? Solex. Japanese carby. No water, it's to be expected. But like I said, it all appears to be pretty complete. Oh, this isn't good. One of the clips is off the distributor. Point system. Oh, you can see the points opening and closing. Dizzy cap and rotor button, you know, they're pretty worn, but they're there. Don't see any reason why it wouldn't work. Coils here covered in spider webs and junk. But no, I think first thing, I'll get a battery in. Jeez, spider webs. Look at this stuff. I'll get a battery in there and see if we can get it to crank over. Now that the engine's not frozen, it's got oil in it, the valve train's all moving when I turn it over, carby's not frozen, everything appears to be here. I don't see any reason why this won't run, assuming it's got some sort of an ignition system. I can hear the compression bleeding off. So yeah, I'll put a battery in it, see if we can get it to crank. Not really familiar with this sort of an arrangement. This is pretty, I don't know if this is original Chrysler stuff, but weird clamping system. The earth's missing a connector, but battery tray's rusty, as to be expected. Here's a battery I know that's good. I've harvested this out of the old Ford. Don't intend to really spend anything on this until we know that it's a good thing and we figure out what the forward plan is for it. At the moment, it's just, you know, get it running, see what we're working with. If it all checks out and it runs and all the rest of it, well, who knows what we're going to do with it. Need a multi-vice grips for this. Well, it's not making any noises. No smoke coming from anywhere. Battery's hooked up. So I'll get a starter, like a remote starter button. I've got one of them in the shed. I'll get that, hook that up, because I haven't got anyone here to help me. So I'll hook that up. Then I'm going to check for spark. Yeah, obviously it's not going to be pulling fuel from the tank, so I'll have to hook up some sort of a remote fuel system. But yeah, I'll check for spark, and then I guess we'll just give it a shot of juice down its throat and see if we can get it to kick or make some noise or fire up. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so the remote starter's hooked up. Just get this out of the way and we'll just see if the points are sparking. Just need to go in the car and turn the ignition on. Remarkably, the oil light works. I'll just give the points a bit of a clean up with this screwdriver. Of course, I've turned the ignition off at this point. Alright, I'll put the dizzy cap back on. And we'll check for spark at one of the cylinders. So it's ignition back on. Check here at number 1. This is all very complete. We'll just stick him in there, and if it's sparking, hopefully we'll get a spark between this bit of screwdriver and the rocker cover. No spark, as is to be expected. So now I'm going to check if the coil's getting 12 volts. The ignition's on, so if everything's good with the wiring, there should be 12 volts here on the positive side of the coil, which is well, there's your problem. This wire here, which is the one that goes to the distributor, sorry, the one that goes to the coil from the distributor is broken. So I'll need to splice that together, but it's very rough. Even where it goes into the distributor body, it's a It's a bit janky, but what I'll do is I'll just put a splice on that, get them joined. And then try and figure out if this ignition wire is alright. The test light's not coming on, which is not ideal. Oh, you idiot. I was testing for positive. Now there you go. I've got 12 volts to the positive side of the coil. That's pretty embarrassing, to be honest. How can you check a complete circuit if you're going positive to positive? Anyway, I've got 12 volts to the positive side of the coil. So, like I said, I'll just get this this broken wire fixed, and then we'll continue on. Okay, so I couldn't find a Scotch lock. I must have used them all on a previous project. So what I'll do is I'll just use one of these crimp connectors to join these two together. Of course, this isn't a permanent long-term fix. Why is that not stripping? The whole point of this is just to confirm the condition of the motor and get it going. Don't want to go and, you know, go and get a new distributor or anything like that at this stage. We just want to check that it runs before we get too deep into it. Give it the pull test. She's right. Oh. I left the ignition on all that time. Good job. So now we'll run the test again and see if we've got spark to number one cylinder. No spark. We've got 12 volts to the positive side of the coil still, so must be those points. Well, the points are sparking. When you open them up with a screwdriver to collapse the circuit, you can see a little spark there. Not every time though, so maybe they're still a bit dirty. Don't know if you can hear that. All I'm doing is using a screwdriver to open the points up. You can hear them popping. I'll turn the ignition off and get in there with a little file and give them a clean up. Got a bit of sandpaper here. Let's see if we can get it down in there. I think I've got an old set of, or a new set of points somewhere in the shed in one of the boxes, but I'm going to avoid replacing these. That would be the preference. At this stage anyway. That side's alright. They seem complete, there's no holes in them or anything like that. I mean, I've seen some really rough points that still work and make spark. So, normally super reliable. But yeah, pretty keen to see if we can get this old girl to bark off. I think it'd be awesome to drive 800 kilometres, go fetch it, do nothing more than a couple of little items and get it to fire up. After, who knows, 20 years not running or whatever. So, get the distributor cap back on. Maybe a dinky spark plug. Get that earthed nicely. Turn the ignition on. We can confirm it's on because the oil light comes on, believe it or not. Oh, and there we go. We've got a good spark now. Wow. Cool. So now, we'll get all that hooked back up. Jesus, some spider webs. Good Lord. All right. Let's charge this battery up. Come on. Alright, so fast forward a few hours, I've had this thing on the charger and should have plenty of charge in it now to turn it over. So we'll get the charger out of here. Hook up our ground cable again. I also picked up some fuel, some fresh unleaded, so just get a bit of it into a Coke bottle here so I can feed it in there a bit easier. Here we go. And there you have it. It's alive. Try and rig up a fuel system here. fuel line. We should be able to just rip it into there. See if this fuel pump's going to pull fuel. Obviously that's not going to do for more than a few seconds, but I'll just get a second little feeder here so I can feed the carb with my little jerry-rigged fuel system. Still running. Check that out. Hilarious. Oh, the oil light's gone out. Just running beautifully. That little homemade fuel system. I better put some water in it. But she's just chugging away as happy as day. Look at that. Alright, well, I'll shut her off and put some water in. She is drier than the Sahara in there. Whoa. See if it holds water. Oh, she's leaking. Leaking out of the thermostat housing. Pretty badly too. I think, not sure if it's the hose or it's just really badly corroded. I'll try and nip it up. It's coming out hard. That's a big leak. Well, maybe it's slowing down. No way. No chance. No. it still. Just start straight up. What a treat. Throttle return spring soft. Needs a new spring. Unbelievable, eh? Awesome. Well, I'm going to put some, top up the brake fluid, and we'll see if it's got a clutch and the brake pedal. If we've got all that, it means we're going driving. So this must be the rear reservoir. There's a little bit in there actually. Let's top it up. This one's fine, that one's at the top. Fluid looks old, but it shouldn't matter for what we're doing. So now, I'll just stand on the brake and see if we've got a pedal, and I'll do the same for the clutch. Clutch is a cable, so it should be fine. It's just whether or not we've got a brake that's most interesting. So brake, absolutely nothing. Won't even pump up. Yeah, I suspect that something's really shot. Well, it's going to be an interesting drive without a brake pedal. What about a clutch? Ooh, that feels good actually. You can feel the spring when it engages. Pretty rough in here. No horn. nice glove box, nothing inside it. Alright, so we've got no brakes, but we have a clutch. That's incredible. So the clutch works and the gearbox works. You just haven't got brakes. So what do? Yep. I think we get a little janky fuel jug secured so it's not going to flop around and burn the car down. And then I think we put air in the tyres and roll it down the driveway and have a bit of a laugh. Let's try it. Well, that is incredible. 26 years off the road. God knows how long it's been since it's been started, but yeah. What a ripper. 73 Galant. Fired up back to life. So what do we do with this thing? Do we just get it running and driving and paddock bash it round here, or do we tidy it up and fix everything that's broken and get it back on the road proper? I don't know, what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks heaps for watching. This has been a really good day. Cheers.